I'm not wearing it. Hand it back to you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, parents, family members, community members, faculty, podium guests, and of course, the graduates of the class of 1995. I'd like to open the ceremony today by inviting to the stand one of our own, Justin Safdie, to introduce our class salutatorian. Justin?
Our first speaker is a gentleman who many of you are probably familiar with due to his accomplishments this year in both mathematics and computer science. Some of you may already know he was named an All-American on the calculus team as well as an All-American on the computer team. But what is remarkable about this young man is that throughout all the demands of his activities, he has managed to maintain both his humanity and his sense of humor. Whether teaching our computer science class, designing a circuit at 4 o'clock in the morning for our Odyssey of the Mind competition, or even adding a cheerful personality to our Sunday Ultimate Frisbee games, Michael has been always a team player and a pleasure to be around. He always finds time to donate to his classmates, and this selfless attitude has earned him the respect of his classmates, teachers, and all of the faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and pleasure to introduce to you Chelmsford High School's 1995 salutatorian, an all-around great guy, and my very good friend, Michael Phillips.
Thank you, Justin.
when I was first asked to make the speech, I thought that I would like to thank a ton of people who have helped me in my last 12 years of education. Friends, family, teachers, deans, principals, everybody. But after I made that list, it took me 10 minutes to read it. So I said, had a meeting with Mr. Levine, my principal, and Mr. Meidel, my dean. I said, look guys, I got a little problem. If I read this list, then I'm not gonna have time for a speech. And they said, no problem. Just mention us and then make your speech. And then they argued about who I should mention first. So while they were arguing, I went and wrote my speech anyway. So all of my teachers and people who have touched my life, I would like to thank you now. And I wish I could read all your names, but, well, you want me to be done sometime today, right? I want to talk to you today about dealing with change. A lot of you are saying now, no problem. I've been to Fun World. I put my dollar bill in that machine. I know what change looks like. I mean a different kind of change. I mean dealing with times when things cease to be the way they once were. We see change all the time. In the seasons, in the Boston Garden, and especially in New England weather. We all know what change feels like. For me, change is moving away from my friends 10 years ago to live in Chelmsford. It's also watching my aunts and uncles move out of the region to live out west because I will miss the family gatherings we used to have. Of course, there are many good changes in our lives. A newborn baby, a new job, and realizing a dream. Like buying and driving that bright orange Hugo you've always wanted. Well, we can dream, can't we? Yet very often, change is difficult. For example, when I moved from Medford to Chelmsford at the age of 8, I left all my friends behind. Basically, everyone I had ever known and played with. I had to start over completely, and that was not easy for me. I eventually learned how to make the most of it. I didn't pout, I didn't cry, I didn't wish that I had never moved away from them. I remembered them, but I didn't cling to the past. Instead, I made a fresh start and met many new friends. Thank you, all of you. Eventually, I saw what a wonderful change in my life moving to Chelmsford had brought. The town provided an excellent environment in which to grow up and an excellent school system in which to learn. After thinking that nothing good could from this change, I was able to see its positive aspects and to be grateful for them. This situation is not unlike, although on a much smaller scale, the situation we now face. We're graduating. For those of you who did not know that we were graduating, now you understand why you're wearing these caps and gowns. Soon, many of us will move away to live at college with people we don't know in a city we don't know. Others may be planning to work full-time or enter the military. In any case, the same thing is happening. Change. Our lifestyles are going to change dramatically. We're going to be on our own. A friend of mine likened graduation to our society's version of the rites of passage, in which children truly become adults. Of course, this can be an incredibly scary change. We'll have to worry about such things as making a living, paying the bills, dodging the IRS, all those things we've taken for granted for so long because our parents did them for us. Now we have to decide how to deal with this change. I suppose we could just be petrified of the future and cling to our memories and attempt to live in the past. We can ignore our problems and say, I remember the good old days. I didn't have to work full time and my mother cooked and cleaned for me. Then when we get older, we can keep on saying, do you remember the 90s when I didn't have a care in the world and Jay Leno was still funny? But if we walk through life constantly looking over our shoulder, we'll miss all the great things that are yet to come. Each day brings with it a new set of challenges, a new set of good times. Yes, there will be hardships, but we can meet them head on and not be afraid of them. Fear, you see, is what we suffer from most, a fear of change. For some, it may be something simple, like a fear of trying a new food, like Brussels sprout. Yuck. For us, many of us here today, it's a fear of moving on with our lives. We must not be afraid of the unknown, of the undiscovered. We can adapt to these changes, strive to work hard and to succeed, and still enjoy our lives at the same time. Great opportunities await us, opportunities for learning, growing, and having some fun. It's time to cast aside our worries and our preconceptions about the future. No one knows what the future will bring, but that great mystery is what makes life so interesting and so exciting. Thank you very much.
Good job. Very good.
Mr. Levine, would you please join me at the podium? Mr. Levine, on behalf of the class of 1995, it gives me great pleasure to present to you with the class of 1995's class gift. The class of 1995 leaves the school a granite sign saying, "Welcome to Chelmsford High School." The sign is to be placed at the entrance driveway leading to the athletic field. The class of 1995 is happy to donate this gift as a token of their appreciation.
Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to take this time to express my gratitude to you, the graduating class of 1995, for giving me the opportunity to lead you throughout this past year. It has been an honor and a privilege to have been elected to lead this fine class. Two people that need to be acknowledged for their support and dedication to our class are our two class advisors, Mrs. Cheryl Mamlis and Mrs. Beverly McCoy. The class sincerely appreciates all the time and dedication and hard work. It seems like just yesterday that we've entered the school. I think that has been said by every person who has ever attended a high school. But it is true. Time has passed by quickly. But in that time, we have forged some of the strongest friendships we will ever have. I would like to say goodbye to the people I have spent the last 13 years of my life with. I look around at all the graduates, and I see faces that I have been seeing for as long as I can remember. We grew up together and have shared many of the same feelings and experiences. It is sad saying goodbye after all these years, and yet at the same time, there's an incredible emotional experience going on. We are moving on, and in doing so, we are venturing into new lives with new directions. At the beginning of this year, we were asked what we would like to leave the school and our class will. I thought about what I would want to leave, and after sifting through 13 years of my memories, I realized that I didn't want to leave anything at all. I wanted to take it all with me. I wanted to take all the experiences, all the friendships, and all the memories that I've gathered over these years, pack them up, and take them with me wherever I go. Because they make me who I am. They make us all who we are. Our experiences here have shaped us and have hopefully prepared us for the future. We will take the experiences we have all shared and use them as tools for whatever challenges may lay in store. And so I will end by saying goodbye. It has been a great 13 years, and when I look back on those years, we should cherish every one, because they will never come again. Thank you once again, the class of 1995, and good luck to everyone with everything you do. I would now like to invite Deborah Sheehan, president of the class of 1996, to the podium. Debbie, it gives me great pleasure as president of the class of 1995 to present to you this gavel. It is the symbol of authority and responsibility. The class of 1995 wishes you and the class of 1996 the best in all of your endeavors. We sincerely hope that you in the class of 1996 will follow and hold the fine traditions that have been established over the years at Chelmsford High School. Congratulations, Deb.
Greg Marr and the graduates of class of 1995. On behalf of the class of 1996, I am very honored to accept this gavel. I hope that we as a class will be as successful in our accomplishments as you in the class of 1995 were in yours. Speaking for the entire class, I congratulate you on your successful journey thus far and wish you the best of luck and happiness in the future. May you accomplish all the goals that you set for yourselves after graduation and in the years to come. We hope you always find peace and comfort in remembering the good times and good friends you had here at Chelmsford High. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
I'd like to say that Greg Mara was an outstanding president of the senior class for the 1995 and give him a round of applause for his leadership. This doesn't just magically happen, and I'd like to thank some people for helping with the setup and the implementation of this graduation ceremony. The custodial and grounds crew staff, they don't often get a lot of kudos, and I think it's important in public to recognize the people that have done the work that make these ceremonies so beautiful. So to the Chelmsford Public Schools custodial and grounds crew staff, particularly my head custodian, Billy Bowden, Bob Dunderdale, Jeff Taylor, a lot of the people that worked out here for the last few days during difficult conditions, I'd like to thank you very much for your help. There are two secretaries in my front office. Vickery Demeter is my secretary, and Kathy Boudreau is the secretary receptionist that answers the switchboard. And the two of them took on a yeoman's job in putting together this ceremony and the program as you see it. So to them, who are supportive of me every day, a great deal of thanks for the work that you've done for putting this graduation ceremony together. Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our outstanding, and I really mean outstanding, faculty, many of whom are sitting here in the faculty section, many of whom are sprinkled throughout the crowd. We have an outstanding faculty at Chelmsford High School. We're very lucky to have them. It's a privilege to have you here. Thank you. And lastly, two terrific deans who have done a great job this year. They've been supportive of you as the class of 1995, of all of the other students in the high school, of the faculty, and of myself. I'd like to recognize Dean Meidel and Dean Thomas. Before I give a few remarks, I'd like to make a few remarks about last night. There's a movie called About Last Night. It's probably a tragedy. Last night, we had to make a very difficult decision in postponing this event. And to the Chelmsford community, I believe that you are owed at least an explanation of the process of how that took place, because we know that we created some very difficult conflict with parties that were being run and transportation to and from various places today. I'd like to give you an analogy, though, and let you know that I appreciate the fact that I work for a superintendent who allows his administrators to be decision makers. With that privilege comes a great deal of responsibility, and I accept the responsibility of postponing yesterday's event, last evening's event. As most of you know, sitting here, about a week ago, we had a smoke bomb that was let off at Chelmsford High School. Well, at the time, we didn't know it was a smoke bomb, and we evacuated the building. Some 1,500 people had to evacuate the building, and my decision was to send them home because we didn't know what we were dealing with. You don't risk lives when you don't know what you're dealing with. So for safety's sake, we sent everybody home until we had a handle on the situation. Yesterday afternoon, after speaking with meteorologists all day long, every hour, the final report that I got at 3:30 was that there would be a thunderstorm moving in with heavy lightning, hail, heavy winds between 4 and 8 o'clock in the Lowell-Chelmsford area. We missed by about an hour. But there was no way that I could risk having this many people sitting in this stadium and having to vacate it quickly, especially with people who sometimes can't move as quickly as others, trying to get to their cars and ruining a ceremony that otherwise is a beautiful ceremony. So my decision was to err on the side of safety and postpone. 15 minutes after I put it on the cable and the radio stations, the sun came out. That happens. So to all of you who were impacted negatively by having to postpone or rearrange parties and travel arrangements, I profusely apologize. But for erring on the side of safety, I cannot apologize. And I thank you very much for your understanding as a community. It's been a distinct privilege and honor to be able to serve as the principal at Chelmsford High School for the class of 1995. I don't have the time to recognize all of their achievements, and many of the achievements of these kids go unrecognized, and we try to make sure that that doesn't happen so that we create a star ceremony in the Activities Awards ceremony to recognize kids that otherwise would go unrecognized. We don't have the time to recreate that, but I would like to state in public right now that the achievements of this class have been second to none. The class of 1995 placed a number of seniors on both our state championship football and hockey teams, and I'd like them to all stand right now and be recognized. Congratulations. Chelmsford High School also had the New England State Champion Calculus team, which placed 8th in the nation. Seniors, please stand and be recognized for members of that team. The class of 1995 can claim a National Merit Scholarship winner, which is highly unusual. Less than 1/2% of the nation that has applied for these scholarships. And our scholarship winner is Bashka Srivastava. Stand and be recognized, Bashka. Only 100 students nationwide received the honor of being called a Tandy Technology Scholar, and we had one, Michael Phillips. Please stand and be recognized. We had a World of Difference Scholarship and Award winner for her great editorial about anti-Semitism and bigotry that appeared both in our local papers and in various other publications. Andrea Lydon, please stand and be recognized. Our kids not only have excelled in the classroom or on the fields of athletic endeavor, but also in service to community, to church, and to family. One such group that was established 2 years ago here at Chelmsford High School is called SEARCH, Students Entertaining and Reading to Children in Hospitals, and that's exactly what they do. They make sick kids feel better. I would like the seniors from the SEARCH group to please stand and be recognized. I've only begun to scratch the surface of the achievements of this great class in all endeavors. They will be outstanding people. They will be outstanding graduates. They will contribute back to this society in Chelmsford and to our society as a nation. I'm very proud of you. I congratulate you, and I wish you Godspeed in your next step on the journey. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who will introduce the guest speaker of this afternoon. The 5th century Greek statesman Pericles said of leadership, "The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, both glory and danger, and yet notwithstanding, go out and meet it." John Wayne, a 20th century movie star, said, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." It is my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who is a man of vision, one who goes out and meets the challenge, and in the 3 years that I have known him, has never been afraid to saddle up. Superintendent of Schools, Richard Moser.
Thanks a lot, Herb. Appreciate it.
One of the marks of a good principal is that he learns how to protect his superintendent. I appreciate that. I think Herb's comments about our decision-making processes last night around change of the graduation ceremony was well explained, but I certainly own full ownership for that decision. And at this point, would simply like to thank our graduates and families for putting up with the inconvenience. We do know there are inconveniences around those kinds of decisions, but we hope safety is a prime concern of yours as well, so thank you very much. It is my privilege today to not only congratulate all members of our senior class for their success at Chelmsford High School and throughout the Chelmsford Public Schools, but to introduce our guest speaker, our representative to the House of Representatives from the 5th Congressional District, Congressman Marty Meehan. Marty Meehan is an excellent choice for a graduation speaker. His work is important to all citizens in Chelmsford and the state of Massachusetts, and he serves as a wonderful role model for all youth interested in making a difference in our society of today and tomorrow. As a first-term congressman, Marty Meehan, according to the local press, has made a brash entry into the political stage. As a member of the House Armed Services Committee, Mr. Meehan has fought bravely for funds and for job training at Fort Devens. As a member of the House Committee and as a first-term congressman, he has been very bold in presenting his personalized plan for balancing the federal budget. Marty Meehan is known for his independence, his courage, his commitment to listen to his constituency. He's held over 50 town meetings during his first term of office, and for his willingness to stand for what is best in America. Marty has many personal characteristics worthy of emulation by our graduates, soon to go out into the world of work or future schooling. He is willing to tackle important issues, despite the potential for controversy. He sees the need to put a plan into action rather than simply pontificate the future. He demonstrates integrity, as exemplified by refusing to accept donations from special interest political action committees. And simply by showing a commitment to serve others, he exudes an element of altruism so often absent from people in leadership positions. Marty Meehan's participation today can be viewed as a gift to our senior class. I thank Congressman Meehan for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be with us, and at the same time, offer my sincerest congratulations to all graduating seniors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction, Dr. Moser. I appreciate your comments. You know, I left my house to come over here, and a member of my staff, Bob LaRochelle, picked me up, and we're on the way over, and I said, "What do you think that I should speak about?" He said, "Well, you had an extra day to figure it out, didn't you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I did." And he said to me, "Do you remember your commencement speaker? What did he or she have to say when you graduated from Lowell High School in 1974? And I said, "I have no idea." And he said, "Did you know who your commencement speaker was?" And I said, "I have no idea." With that, he said, "If I were you, I'd be brief then." I want to first of all congratulate the class of 1995 for Chelmsford High School. You were truly an outstanding class. Your achievements, your academic achievements, and achievements, your football team and your hockey team. I know the wrestling team always defeated Lowell High School when I attended Lowell High School. But I want to congratulate all of you on the tremendous achievement that you've had here at Chelmsford High School. Secondly, I also want to congratulate the parents and the families of all of the graduates, because they're the ones that really have to work hard and tolerate an awful lot through 4 years of high school and helping you reach your achievements. So I want to thank all of the parents and the family and friends who are here as well. You know, Michael Phillips alluded to change and the challenges that change present for all of us. Well, the United States is going through an awful lot of change of a global economy that's changing the workforce. You know, the Department of Labor estimates right now that the average person who is graduating from high school today will have 5 or 6 different jobs, as opposed to our parents who had 1 or 2 or 3 different jobs. What that means is technology is changing. What that means is that we have to be prepared and have our workforce skilled to compete with other countries around the world in a global economy. It means that our education is a process that will be ongoing throughout high school, on to college. For those of you who go to college, those of you who enter the workforce, there's going to be a real need to to reacquire skills as jobs change, as technology advances. We're on the brink of an information explosion in this country that is going to present challenges to our workforce, challenges to our companies, and challenges to our people. Not to mention the fact that our federal budget deficit is $221 billion in interest this year. It's the third largest federal government program. At the same time, we need to balance the budget. We need to make investments in education and investments that will make us the world's #1 superpower. So it's extremely important that we face these challenges. I know this class can do it based on your record of achievement thus far. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm honored to be here to honor you, and I look forward to working with you over the next several years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman. I'd like to recognize our, as always, outstanding band and chorus for their great work under the direction of Mark Kerouac. Thank you very much. Good job. I'd like to thank the students that are, have been helping out here today, our marshals, National Honor Society kids. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce a young man who will introduce our valedictorian. In case you don't know, both the salutatorian and the valedictorian have the opportunity to choose whom it is they would like to introduce them. And introducing our valedictorian is Stephen Moore. Stephen?
Thank you, Mr. Levine. Though our separation will drive all of us apart, Bhaskar will remain a friend, first of all. Admirable mostly because he has remained true, constant in what he knows to be most important in his life. In his case, equal virtue has been met with equal success. He is a person capable of great things, and as is his way, he will succeed. He has had a passion for music and has built strong friendships. Most importantly, he has had a deep and binding love for his family. It is hard to overstate the true nobility of his character. So with unconditional respect and friendship in my heart, let me now introduce him. Bhaskar Srivastava.
Good job, Stephen. Good job. Attaboy.
Honored guests, faculty, friends, family, and graduates of the class of 1995. I have a dream. These are the famous and perhaps the most important words of Martin Luther King. This great man's hopes inspired his actions and allowed him to bear the tremendous adversity he encountered. His idealism and strength came from his dreams. His words are as meaningful now as they were over 30 years ago. Dreams are vital possessions. Dreams connect our everyday existence to our higher selves. They allow us to perceive a distant goal and to believe in our potential. In good times, our dreams, like sails, carry us towards the horizon. In turbulent times, our dreams, like anchors, hold us in place and allow us to endure. A true dream is felt in the soul. Otherwise, it would not provide strength or motivation. Also, the greatest aspirations often seem the most implausible. We should trust the imagination and have faith in ourselves. Emerson once wrote that man must learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within. It is often difficult to perceive our dreams, which, like the elusive butterfly, flutter in and out of view. When we trust ourselves, though, our dreams unfold their wings and reveal their beauty. Although our aspirations come from within, we are influenced by everything around us. Closing the mind to these influences is a mistake. Our teachers, our coaches, and our parents provide the information and opportunities that allow us to realize our dreams. Our inspiration may also come from literature or from history. Ultimately, we evaluate what we learn and then open our minds to new possibilities, new dreams. As children, we often have the most fantastic dreams. As we mature, our dreams become more defined. I want to cure every sickness becomes, I want to attend medical school and study cardiology. We form more distinct goals and decide how to act on our hopes. Yet, the idealistic imagination of a child has no limits. Since our dreams define our highest aspirations, we have our greatest potential as children. The belief that nothing is impossible nourishes our imagination, and we must maintain some of our childhood idealism alongside our maturing dreams. In the coming years, we will make many decisions about the paths our lives will take. Also, we will face increasing responsibilities and concerns. Through these times, our dreams will guide us. Without them, we may become victims to a tiresome, repetitive life. Aspirations differ. Some people strive to obtain a high school degree, others to gain a promotion, yet others to buy a home of their own. Whatever the goal, however, the driving force is a hope. Complacency is the lack of dreams. As we wish to fulfill our potential, we must continue to dream. Our dreams, though, cannot be realized. When we trust ourselves, though, our dreams unfold their wings and reveal their beauty. Although our aspirations come from within, we are influenced by everything around us. Closing the mind to these influences is a mistake. Our teachers, our coaches, and our parents provide the information and opportunities that allow us to realize our dreams. Our inspiration may also come from literature or from history. Ultimately, we evaluate what we learn and then open our minds to new possibilities, new dreams. As children, we often have the most fantastic dreams. As we mature, our dreams become more defined. I want to cure every sickness becomes, I want to attend medical school and study cardiology. We form more distinct goals and decide how to act on our hopes. Yet, the idealistic imagination of a child has no limits. Since our dreams define our highest aspirations, we have our greatest potential as children. The belief that nothing is impossible nourishes our imagination, and we must maintain some of our childhood idealism alongside our maturing dreams. In the coming years, we will make many decisions about the paths our lives will take. Also, we will face increasing responsibilities and concerns. Through these times, our dreams will guide us. Without them, we may become victims to a tiresome, repetitive life. Aspirations differ. Some people strive to obtain a high school degree, others to gain a promotion, yet others to buy a home of their own. Whatever the goal, however, the driving force is a hope. Complacency is the lack of dreams. As we wish to fulfill our potential, we must continue to dream. Our dreams, though, cannot be realized without hard work. An athlete must do countless drills, a musician must practice for many hours, and a writer must edit his manuscript carefully. Thoreau, in his novel Walden, wrote, "If you have built castles in the air, that is where they should be. Now put foundations under them." Building a foundation demands much application, and a person must be willing to devote time and effort. Also, realizing our hopes is often a slow process. Furthermore, we do not fulfill all of our expectations. If we did, life would become boring. True, our dreams should be lofty, but a person takes small steps towards a greater goal, and each step should be a joy. Finally, we must take risks to pursue our dreams. In today's world, the future seems uncertain. A person is no longer guaranteed a secure life, and so we gravitate towards the safest options. In doing so, sometimes we forsake our dreams. True happiness, though, can be gained only by following the heart. Those who suppress their innermost wishes will always long for what could have been. Taking a chance does not ensure success, but often represents the only path to a goal. Martin Luther King risked and gave his life to pursue his dreams. His strength brought about monumental changes. Although his life was short, he lived more consciously than the oldest person who has denied his soul. May we all follow our dreams. Thank you.
I'd like to take an opportunity to thank our color guard who led us all out here today and have sat here through the graduation ceremony. Thank you, color guard. I'd like to introduce two people who are on the podium that will help with the distribution of diplomas but will not be speaking. School Committee woman Mary France. And representing our PTO, Mrs. Denise Temple. It's now my pleasure to introduce the chairwoman of the school committee from the city of Chelmsford, someone who has been extraordinarily supportive of all of our endeavors at the high school. It's been a privilege to work with her, Mrs. Wendy Marks.
Choices. Life is full of them. As each one of you, the member of 1995 class Chelmsford High School, receive your diploma today, you will read that it is granted to you based on satisfactory completion of a course of study prescribed by the Chelmsford School Committee. On behalf of the Chelmsford School Committee, we want you to know that we recognize and appreciate all the choices that you have made over the past 13 years that have brought you successfully here today. I encourage each and every one of you to continue to make those positive choices as you begin to chart your own course of studies, your course in life, that you and your family will look back on with pride and nostalgia. I encourage each of you to seek those options, or if necessary, to create new options that allow you to keep your dreams as you try to balance all the demands that will be placed upon you by others. I am proud to now confer upon each member of the class of 1995 of Chelmsford High School as you pass from our course of studies to one prescribed for yourself.
By the way, how was the senior prom? Not bad, huh? How about that senior banquet? How about that principal on the dance floor? Well, we will now begin what we've all come here and waited for, the conferring of diplomas. We're going to stand over there.
Who's in charge of putting me on here, do you know? I'm not on.
Could somebody please put on Mr. Battle's microphone?
Okay. On. Whenever you're ready, let me know, Mr. Levine.
Move this down for... yeah, good idea. Bernie, they're going to start.
Sarah A. Amiro. Kimberly Elizabeth Baker. Simone Bobian. Jennifer Mary Belleville. Sarah Ann Bernard. Melissa Joanne Bovair. Christy Jean Brooks. Anna Grace Butkovich. Kimberly Ann Shalafo. Margaret Emily Chamberlain. Erica Mary Constantino. Amy Susan Craig. Jennifer Elaine Circler. Jessica Margaret Daggett. Stephanie Marion Dalton. Sarah Felice Danzig. Janet Catherine Demuse. Lauren Rebecca Druin. Kerry Claire Dusham. Kerry Lynn Duffin. Shannon Lynn Dunn. Susan Sylvia Emanuel. Heather Ann England. Tara Marie Fleming. Amy Francione. Amy Lynn Freilich. Alicia Bell Garrigan. Nicole Elizabeth Giroux. Leah Russell Goldman. Andrea Michelle Hamway. Elizabeth Ann Hart. Jenny Lee Held. Christine Marie Hogan. Maral Flora Jacknavorian. Katie Christine Jewett. Jamie Michelle Jordan. Kimberly Marie Keller. Darlene Joanne Marie Kendall. Rafif Kabasa. Catherine Sarah Kivlin. Stephanie Lynn Coach. Melissa Kulikowski. Melinda Marie Lawler. Tina Marie Leduc. Wendy Marie Lewis. Jocelyn Lee Lindgren. Erin Lynn Littlefield. Christina Marie Lombardi. Jean Marie Lurvy. Melissa Ann MacDonald. Jennifer Elizabeth Mahoney. Lisa Joy Marchand. Michelle Renee McCullough. Erin Margaret McGarry. Ushmi Morotra. Patricia Ann Metz. Jennifer Kristen Mumby. Leslie Ann Nahabedian. Samantha Dawn Susan Noak. Jasmine Joy O'Reilly. Jennifer Michelle Oten. Lindsay Karen Pater. Jennifer Elizabeth Patterson. Kathleen Nadine Peterson. Mai Tuyet Pho. Renee Andrea Potvin. Heather Irene Price. Tammy Ann Rager. Shannon Reddy. Sherry Marie Rogers. Jamie Alexis Russo. Shayla Ann Santry. Kelly Jean Sung Skamias. Zara Ann Schmidt. Kristen Claire Seaman. Gong Ke Shen. Melissa Ann Temple. Jennifer Marie Tevlin. Laurie Ann Therian. Georgia Evelyn Chiklis. Mare Hurig Vatanian. Megan Kim Wallace. Melanie Ann Weir. Marnie White. Caitlin Eva Whitworth. Jennifer Grace Wilson. Alyssa Joy Workman. Diana Yu. Brenda Louise Zaney. Brendan Ahern. Jonathan Richard Arsenal. Anthony Matthew Ayoub. Matthew John Bean. Russell Joseph Bilodeau, Jr. Stephen Lawrence Boyd. Timothy Alexander Brennan. Christopher Matthew Brothers. Scott Patrick Brown. Matthew Richard Caffell. Alan Daniel Cairns. James Robert Carnavale. Timothy Edward Clark. Michael Anthony Kokonis. Theodore Peter Crane. Daniel Patrick Curran. Richard Robert DiCaprio. David Todd DeCataret. Stephen Mark Demopier. Eric James Dishman. Matthew Stephen Downs. Jeffrey John Duchesne. Rennie James Valzerano. Ryan Matthew Finnegan. Matthew J. Gannon. Matthew George Gabrielle. William Donald Goodhue. Peter Demetrius Goulas. Alan James Grant. James Robert Graves. Jason Michael Gilmet. Jason Peter Hanscom. Michael Hirsch. John Lee Holliday. Mark Stanley Hopler. Eric Matthew Hondal. Kevin Thomas Jarry. Michael Arthur Johnson. Evan Scott Karp. Naef Kabasa. Samuel Carl Kicker. John Paul Kurzwick. John Richard Langworthy. Min Lee. Stephen John Leal. Jonathan Leary. Jason Edward Lewis. Brendan J. Patrick Mahan. Christopher Paul Maley. Stephen Mayall. Jonathan Keith McCann. Brian John McCrae. Christopher Colleen McDonald. Scott Allen McElvenna. Scott B. Gordon McLaughlin. Charles Daniel McMurray. Warren David Mellor. Eric Raymond Merriam. Matthew Gilbert Mativier. Raymond Walter Millette. Timothy Michael Mills. Brian Thomas Moriarty. David William Murray. Matthew Curran Nangle. Robert Leslie Neville. Kevin Michael O'Connor. Joshua Rashad O'Leary. Christopher Anthony Park. Scott Joseph Rashad. Stephen James Regazio. Bradford Joseph Robeck. George E. Roberts III. David Carl Rondina. Sean Michael Ruffalart. Justin Michael Safdie. Sachin Kinshaw Shah. Michael Andrew Syme. Jason Lance Smith. John G. Stossel. Glenn Richard Thorin, Jr. Mauricio Valencia. Jason John Van Dinter. William Vern Woodward.
Yep, swap places. And you can stay here. Mary goes over there.
Lynn Allison Adams. Maggie Elizabeth Iapan. Lisa Christine Azalina. Elizabeth Rose Barry. Kate Teresa Benoit. Allison Forster Breen. Haley Vanessa Burke. Stephanie Jean Cadigan. Rachel Marie Cerullo. Lilia Chen. Jennifer Lynn Clegg. Elizabeth Ann Cook.
Good luck, sweetie.
Renee Joan Couture. Christina Diane Crow. Karen Ann Curley.
Good luck.
Teresa Marie Daly.
Congratulations.
Sarah Elizabeth Demas.
Congratulations, sweetie. Good luck.
Sandra Jean Demuse.
Congratulations.
Michelle Lee Derry.
Nice job, sweetie.
Dawn May Dusham.
Congratulations.
Tracy Lynn Dufresne.
Congratulations, sweetie.
Desiree Marie Elias.
Hi.
Cheryl Erickson.
Congratulations, sweetie. Good luck.
Jessica Elizabeth Ferner.
Congratulations, sweetie.
Karen Ann Fisher.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Bonnie Rose Foley.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Mary France.
Good luck, sweetie. Bye.
Sarah Elizabeth Geisler.
Do I get a hug too?
Jill Marie Gogan. Anne Mary Gorham. Christine Grasso. Kimberly Ann Gregoire. Colleen Marie Hamill. Lindsay Elizabeth Hanlon. Melissa Kathleen Hogan. Amy Elizabeth Carr. Charlene Rose Kuburis. Melanie Ann King. Emily Ann Kluger. Wendy Allison Koff. Danielle K. Kulikowski. Lisa Ann Lavarnway. Jill Lynn LeBlanc. Kelly Elizabeth Lewis. Jean Patricia Loisel. Brooke Ann Longvell. Andrea Dawn Leiden. Kaylee Michelle MacDonald. Jennifer Ann Mahoney.
Good luck, sweetie. Congratulations.
Ellen Bridget McCabe. Jessica Ann McCormick. Julie Marie McCusker. Lisa Ann McEnany. Caitlin Marie McLaughlin.
Glad grad. There we go. Good.
Secret Christine Meltzer.
Congratulations, sweetie. Good luck to you.
Jeannie Ann Michael.
Either way, don't give it away.
Laura Ellen Milley.
Congratulations.
Jill Catherine Maloney. Kristen Marie Morrissey. Claire Elaine Murphy. Kelly Willis Myers. Carolyn Dominique Nicoli. Laurie Michelle Nolan. Jennifer Megan O'Brien. Lauren Deborah O'Neill. Kate Maureen O'Sullivan. Tara Priscilla Outridge. Angela Paolillo. Bindu Patel. Karen Jean Patterson. Maureen Elizabeth Pednall. Ann Teresa Piriello. Monica Petrillo. Laurie Ann Riebel. Amy Elizabeth Richardson. Carrie R. Rollins. Lee Catherine Sakowicz. Jennifer Christine Saunders. Diane Marie Shattuck. Jessica Lee Silva. Lillian Sue. Jenny Vandenbalk. Jennifer Lynn Weber. Sandra Danielle Wharton. Janelle Denise Wilson. Christina Wendla Wint. Megan Michelle Worcester. Su Hua Shang. Matthew Jason Amerson. Michael Allen Anderson. Peter Thomas Baldwin. Stephen Allen Barlow. Kevin Paul Bodwin. Thomas Bongiorno. Paul Wilfred Branco. John Henry Briggs. Matthew Hancock Brown. Marcus Clayton Bush. Jesse Edward Carpenter. Keith Lambert Carter. Michael Ethan Chamberis. Ryan C. Christensen. Earl Christopher Clark. Timothy John Collins. James Scott Conant, Jr. Timothy John Daly. Jeffrey Allen Davison. Corey Todd Dormitzer. Matthew Scott Doyen. Kenneth Garrett Duane. Gary A. Duarte. Robert Vaughn Dewey. David Allen Fielding, Jr. Joshua Joseph Friedman. Christopher Frank Gallagher. Stephen Dominic Garofalo. Michael Robert Gillette. Timothy Bryant Gonzalez. Brad James Gould. Michael Lee Herring. Stephen John Herron. Brian Kevin Hofaker. Christopher Wayne Holt. Stephen Matthew Howe. Lynn Reynolds Hyatt, Jr. Avo Jack Naborian. Mark Allen Jenkins, Jr. Peter Roland Kalpis. Evan Kelly. David Angelo La Rochelle. Joseph Michael Lazarto. Teeman Lee. Jason J. LaRue. Thomas James Liakis. Charles Christopher Lipman. Robert Henry Lours. Scott Thomas McKay. Jonathan Joseph Mast. Jonathan Duval Maycock. Terrence Adam McCrensky. Kevin Leo McHale. Stephen Allen Moore. Ryan Spencer Mullen. Daniel Allen Nakamoto. Corazon A. Nominchief. Kevin Allen Oft. Michael Patrick Phillips. Benjamin Pong. Benari Lee Jonathan Poulton. Robert Anthony Raffaello. James Charles Raris. Christopher Richard. David Michael Rhines. Benjamin Hillel Roberts. Aaron Douglas Robinson. Stephen Daniel Rogan. Sean Edward Rubian. Brent Matthew Rudder. Richard Peter Sacchetti, Jr. William Peter Shellback. Colin Philip Sheehan. Eric John Siljander. Corey David Simmons. Bhaskar Srivastava. David Arthur Stankard. William Todd Stevenson. Daniel Charles Tello. Jeffrey Robert Thompson. Graydon Allen Tripp. Joseph Bradley Varnum. Derek Bryant Wachowski. James Robert Weishaupt. Mark Harold Wittenberger. James Patrick Hooley. Stephen Matthew Wong. Stephen Robert Young. Ethan Patrick Zimmer. And the president of the class of 1995, Gregory Charles Mara.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Graduates, you may now turn your tassels to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and pleasure that I presented you the graduated class of 1995.
What's that? Yes. Penny. 2. Marty?